Alright, y'all. So, this is August the 29th, 2024, but this one is for the 30th. So, if you're reading the title, that's what it's about. It's technically, this card is for the next day. So, first off, going over the card I got yesterday, the Hermit card. So, which is basically where I'm supposed to find answers from within. Like I have some type of life question, I guess. That didn't really happen today. I didn't really have that problem. No life question that I'm aware of, anyway. It was just a day of work, and at the same time, a day where, because it's Thursday and I'm ready to go home and enjoy my weekend, because we usually get a 3-day weekend. Sometimes we'll work Fridays if we have to. That's overtime, but generally we get 3 days off. That's what was going on. So I'm just ready to get through this day so I can get there and just enjoy my weekend, because it's going to be a 4-day weekend with Labor Day coming up on Monday. So I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, so really cool. So no, that didn't really go for me. Didn't really have any life questions. I was just ready to go home, and then as soon as I got home, threw on the Missouri. Well, cleaned up, took a shower, all that jazz. Got this stuff on, and then I met Angela and Sedalia, and then we came back here, and we watched a movie, and then got into the groove for ball games, the Royals and the Missouri Tigers football team. So there's that. Anyway, so card didn't necessarily work for me, giving it a thumbs down for me, but maybe it worked for you. If it did, hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear that it worked for you. That is great news for me. So anyway, moving on, we have the next card, and we have Sword. So generally that's usually a negative from what I'm getting from the deck. And it looks like this one's kind of dark. At least it's got the dark background going on. So let's see what it says here for this one. We have ego, conflict, negativity, defeat, and competition. Oh, and dejection. So the Five of Swords heralds a conflict that includes major pain. And no, I don't think they mean the character Major Pain, but if you have never seen that, I hope you've seen the movie. If you haven't, watch it, but that's not what they're referring to. So major pain, frustration, humiliation, and egoism in the mix. While the conflict can be good to address what needs to be addressed, the particular confrontation is more detrimental than beneficial. If you're winning, ask yourself, is it worth it? Are you jeopardizing your dignity, your relationship, your reputation? In the end, is winning worth the collateral damage? In the future, keep in mind that not every argument needs to be a battle, that vulnerability, compassion, and acquaintances are signs of maturity. So, in other words, sounds like I might have some type of argument tomorrow, and I have to decide whether it is worth it or not to continue the argument, just to prove that I'm right, that I'm correct. So, which very rarely happens with me. I'm usually more or less one that if I am in an argument and I see that the argument is escalating, I usually just go ahead and say, okay, you know what, you can win this one, fine, whatever. But then, of course, if I end up being right, now if I end up being right, I end up being right. I'm not gonna gloat. I might give you a hard time. Sometimes I do that. But if it's something really, really serious, I don't really go back to it. I try not to. I try not to go back to it. I try not to say, well, I was right. I just try to tell them, like, okay, for future reference, this is what you probably need to do if this ever happens again. but I don't want to. Gloating is not my thing, especially if I know it's something serious and that this is really kind of painting on the other person. That's not the time to pound your ego and really knock that person down. I mean, it is, I guess, if they're your enemy, but if they're a friend, a family member, or a lover, that's not the thing to do. So, but anyway, that is the card that I got. I don't think that one's going to pan out anyway for tomorrow. We'll see. Not for me anyway. Maybe it will be your card. I hope not. I don't wish that card on anybody. But like I said, if it is your card, hit me up in the comments below. And, yeah. But... Or if it was a warning for you, let me know. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. I think that's kind of more or less what it is more than anything. It's just a warning card. Like, okay, you're suddenly into an argument. Do you really want to continue this argument, or would you rather just pass on it and go on, kind of thing? But yeah, because for Angela and I here at the house, it's supposed to be just an easy day tomorrow, just a relaxing day. We might go out and do something later. I don't know yet. We're just kind of winging it, but I think for the most part we're just gonna stay here and enjoy the day because it's supposed to be a nice day, and I think we're gonna venture out towards Sedalia later in the afternoon. Something we gotta take care of, and then we'll be right back. And that's pretty much it. We're just gonna relax and do us, so to speak. We watch movies, TV shows, we've got some board games we can play. We've got snacks, we've got drinks, we've got what we need to if we just want to stay in and have a day to ourselves, we can do that. There's no need to go out or do anything, so being the key word in that is just relax. I don't really see us getting into an argument or anything like that. So, could happen, but I highly doubt it. In fact, they're supposed to even, I don't know. I mean, we may go see a movie tomorrow night. That's a possibility, depending on what's playing. I kind of want to go see that new Alien movie. But if we don't see that this weekend, we can always watch it next weekend. And they have drag races in Sedalia. And by the drag race, by the way, I don't mean the guys dressing up as women drag race, which is okay, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything negative there. But it's the vroom vroom drag races, the big cars when they race down against each other. They're going to do that at the Speedway, I think, so that might be kind of cool. I've never been to one of those drag races. I've seen them on TV. Excuse me, but I've never been to one. I've never been to the other kind of drag race either, necessarily. I've seen them on television as well. I've been to a couple of events, though, where men were dressed up as women. And like I said, I have nothing against it. You do you. That's my thing. I have nothing against people being themselves, as long as it's not harming others in any shape, way, or form. I'm all for it. And in this case, it's not harming anybody. It's just people expressing themselves, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the way you want to express yourself, by all means do it. It's not hurt. You're not hurting me by doing it. You're not hurting anybody else by doing it. You're not hurting yourself by doing it, because this is you. So I don't have a problem in it. Not at all. Nothing whatsoever is wrong with it. And I don't give a shit. I'll say that. I don't give a shit what society says. There's nothing wrong with it. That's you, be you. If I knew, honest to God, if I knew somebody that was, really knew somebody that was into it. You know, like as far as like they actually did the drag races, I would go and support them. I'd have no problem in it. If I had a friend of mine that, you know, that I hung out with, and it told me, hey, tomorrow, like for example, well, you know, they just, for example, they just come out of the blue and they say, hey, you know, Gail, tomorrow, I'd really like to go to this drag race tomorrow, you know, where guys are dressing up, and I was wondering maybe if you want to come and hang out with me. I'd be more than happy to come and hang out with them. You know, it's not necessarily my cup of tea, something that I like going to, and then like I said, it's nothing against guys dressing up as women at all. It's just I'm not into modeling shows whatsoever. It doesn't matter what the modeling show is, I'm just not into it. You know, fashion is, if you will, fashion is not my thing. So if it's yours, great. You know, I'll go just because if that's something that you like to do and we're hanging out and all that stuff, and you're like, dude, this is something I really want to go see. Do you want to go see it with me? I sure, hell, why not? You know, because, I mean, we're hanging out anyway. Why not? But, like I said, modeling in itself is just not my thing. That's where I'm getting at. But I'm not knocking it. I don't want to knock it because I don't want to, you know, if that's what you're into, then by all means do it. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's not hurting anybody and all that. It's just not something, because I'm not into modeling. So, but at the same time, token, I don't see modeling people being into sports. So they'd probably knock me for, if I went after them, they'd probably go after me for what I'm doing. So, and they'd have, because that's not something they're into, and it's perfectly fine. That's why I don't, like I said, that's why I don't do it, because we're all into our own things, and it's okay. It's okay. We don't do it because society needs to accept what we like and we don't like. We simply do it because that's our outlet, that helps us get through the week or whatever, and that's perfectly fine. I have nothing against that. So we all have it. We all have that outlet, and you know, go and express yourself. Go do what you want. You gotta do. That's what I gotta say on that. But that's all I got for y'all. And like I said, I don't see, as far as that card goes, I don't really see that being a thing for tomorrow. But we shall see. We shall see. But anyway, that is all I got for you guys for the tarot card deck for the evening. Y'all have a good one, and peace out, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.